how the world is changing, one may wonder, how do Christians stand out? How do they stand tall? You're welcome to Divine Path. My name is Lilian Ogazi, and on this show, we teach Christians how to navigate the world today. Now, on this episode, we'll be teaching Christians how to stand out with prayer. Do not go anywhere because right after the break, you get to meet our guest for the week and the conversation begins. Do stay, we will be right back. You're welcome back. This is Divine Path coming to you from Trust TV, and my name is Lilian Ogazi. Now today, like I told you earlier, we have a very special guest with us, and he'll be teaching us standing out as a Christian this week, but something different though, prayer. Well, let's find out how. Thank you very much, Pastor Ice, for joining us again this week.
You're welcome.
Guys, this is Pastor Ice, and he was with us last week, and it was very interesting. So thank you very much for joining us. Now let's dive right in, because I've already given a very hot teaser. I'm good at that. But let's go right into the conversation. Prayer. Now, what does prayer mean to you? How would you describe prayer? So people have different ways to actually understand prayer and how it works. Well, how would you describe prayer?
Well, in a sentence, I'll say prayer is joining forces with God to get things done on earth. Now, a lot of people just believe that God is all powerful. He is, and they just expect that things happen on earth exactly the way God wants it to happen. But that's not exactly it, because the Bible makes us to understand that God said, I have given all authority on earth, on heaven and earth has been given to us. That automatically means that we have rights over the earth. Anything God does on earth without the involvement of a man is somewhat like illegal in a sense, because you are boycotting the person you gave authority to. So God will never do anything on earth without the partnership of a man. And so how we give God access to our lives, access to our space, access to our earth is in prayer.
Okay, I like that now. But when it comes to prayer now, how most people have different conceptions. I call some people Sunday show. So how often do you stay in communication with God? How often do you give him access to your life through prayer?
A lot of times the picture we have of prayer is that picture of shutting the door behind you, enter into your room, put your knees by the bed,
cover your
bend
head
over,
with the duvet.
yes, and start muttering and groaning for hours. Now that's beautiful, I do that, but that is not all of prayer. To be honest, your lifestyle can be prayer. What is prayer? If I say prayer is inviting God, giving God access to your earth, that means everything you do, in a sense, that invites God into your situation, into your space, is prayer. That means, I like what a pastor says. He says that prayer is speaking.
Okay.
Right? So that means every time we walk out and we step out and we speak words and God hears them, it's prayer. In Numbers, the Bible talking about the Israelites at a point in time, right? There were some things they were doing and they were speaking. And when Moses came to God, right, and God was talking to him, he didn't say, those things that they prayed to me, I will do. He said, everything I heard them say in their private moment is what I will do. That means when we stand and we walk out and we think about our nation and we speak things like, Nigeria is getting better, God is involved, right? The right people are taking over authority. You're already praying. It's not until you close your door and pray before God listens to what you say. Once your heart is reaching out to him, you are depending on his energy, on his strength, and you speak words. God listens and God gets involved.
Okay, now you spoke about how prayer goes beyond locking your doors and covering your blankets and then saying that prayer, but it goes beyond even your day-to-day communication with God. Now, I always say, some people are Sunday show, but how do you stay consistent in prayer? How do you believe that this thing you've asked God, he's going to do it for you, and then you stay consistent in prayer? How do you stay consistent in always asking or always praying for something or always asking God for guidance?
Okay. There's a scripture that I would say revolutionized my prayer life. It's in Philippians 4:6. A translation says, don't worry about anything, instead pray. And it came to me like a revelation, because it felt like a command. It felt like an instruction from God. It felt like something that you'd be in sin or disobedience if you don't do it. And how many times do you get tempted to worry? Probably every day. And God in this scripture has given us a solution or an antidote. He said, don't worry, instead pray. So every time I get tempted to worry, I pray. Every time. It doesn't matter what I am doing. I'm at home and I look out the window, I see what's happening. Maybe a crowd is gathering, I'm getting tempted to worry. What are they about? I open my mouth and I speak about it. I'm thinking about my funds at the end of the month. Oh, maybe I want to pay my house rent. I speak about it. I'm walking, I see my son, he coughs a bit, I'm wondering, hope he's not going to get down with the flu. I speak about it. And I believe that the God who told me pray is listening to me, he's always by my side to respond. So what I do is this. I have decided to tailor my life to be obedient to what I believe is a heavenly instruction, not to worry. And every time I get tempted to worry, one of the things that helps me with that is that belief that everything in life is powered by the spiritual. You know, sometimes we Christians seem to be the ones who are less cognizant of the spiritual. You see the man on the streets who is depending on demons and evil spirits, very, very in touch with the realm of the spirit. They have an opportunity for a business, they are going to look for spiritual backing. They have an opportunity to pitch for a job, they are going to look for spiritual backing. But it seems to be we Christians who depend on, I'll do my research, I'll do this, I'll do that, and we are satisfied. We believe that, okay, we are blessed, things will just happen. But no, how does the blessing work? The blessing is intangible material that we take advantage of when we connect with the spiritual. So when I step out in my day, I expect that I have an advantage on everybody I meet. I expect I have an edge. And what's the edge? The realm of the spirit. And how do I take advantage of this advantage that I have? It's through prayer. So I'm going to my site, for example. I think about it. I say, Father, I believe that this is going to work this way. I believe I have favor. I believe the people that will come will be easy to work with. I believe there will be no injuries. I'm already thinking that way. I expect it to happen. I'm on the way, I'm seeing traffic, I'm behind on time. I say, Father, I see this. You know, I just keep using my advantage, and that helps it to be a lifestyle. I don't depend on just myself. I have myself already, I can use it. But I depend on the extra, and I inculcate the extra into my life via prayer.
Okay, so now it's one thing to adapt to prayer as a lifestyle. It's another thing to adapt to prayer in the world that we're facing or we're living in today. Now, we're talking about standing out. As a Christian, how can you stand out through your prayer life?
Well, considering the kind of world we're living in, it becomes almost imminent, right? That you need help, right? Every day we step out, there's one negative news or the other. So many things. So all of a sudden, you are tempted to live a life of fear. You step out, you want to practically hide under your bed and not step out of your house on a daily basis. So how can you stand up? How can you live a normal life? Prayer becomes key. Why? Because calling upon the presence of an unseen being to be with you every time gives you the needed gusto, gives you the needed strength to go about your normal daily affairs. You are not walking around thinking that somebody can just come at you from behind because there's somebody that is with you. And the person who is with you, he's more than Superman, right? He's God. So prayer helps you to be conscious of him, to know he's with you, to know you have his help. So you can stand up and do whatever it is you need to do with confidence, knowing that you are not alone. If you need to speak up for the helpless, you can speak up because you know you are not a lone voice. Even if there's no physical voice, there's someone spiritually present helping you out. If you need to give your last penny, you know that you can give it out for help. Why? There's somebody invisibly present that can assist you in getting all of your money back. So prayer is key. First of all, because it helps remind you that you are not alone. And two, it gives God access to your daily affairs and to your space in your present world.
All right, thank you for throwing more light on that. But before we continue this conversation, we'll be going on a quick break. And when we return, the show continues. Do stay. This is Divine Path coming to you from Trust TV, and we will be right back.
The God whose silence is louder than thunder, lifting you above the heavens is still like putting you under, cause our minds can't fathom the extent of your influence. We sing holy, 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 let it rise up like incense. You are God, you are not a man nor a mortal. You created the world, but the words you utter. Your word builds my spirit like flesh and protein. When your spirit descends from on high like rain. I don't want you in doses, I need much more. Not just your back like Moses saw. I want to see all of you. Every day be more like you. Show your mysteries in all I do. Out of you I spring forth. You are my birth. Because I've got your life, I can never see death. Even if I tried, I can place no one above you. You are endless. What can never describe all you? I worship you. I worship you. And the 24 elders through the month, 4 weeks, and each 24 hours. My heart is singing, my spirit praise is bringing to the maker of time. To you, Lord, I'm singing. All things that exist were made by your speaking. You existed before the first clock started ticking. Your present includes our past and our future. You seek righteous men who through faith have been made pure. Pure in heart, able to worship you in spirit. Take up the cup of your presence and sip it. Eternity stretches in an attempt to contain you. Time will cease if it tries to contain you. If you are a song, I'll be the remix. If you are an MC, I'll be your lyrics. You are bigger than death. You mystify the phoenix. You blow the mind of even the worst of cynics. You are Jesus. Hey, you are Jesus. Name above all names, King above all kings, God above all gods. There is none like you. The still small voice in my spirit. You made the earth and it takes you to spin it. You are the order in our galaxy. Without you, riches and wealth is a mere fallacy. You are the twinkle in the eye of a laughing baby. The peace in the seas when the storm is going crazy. The Lamb of God, yet the Lion of Judah. The crucified Christ, yet the mighty Jehovah. The peace brings, the seas sing to praise you. The trees wave their branches to adore the same you. My hands can't, but with my rhymes I raise you. I extend the arms of my spirit to embrace you. Knees bent, my head bowed to worship the God who elevated me to the position of sonship. What else can I say but thank you for being there for me when I pray? I thank you. I thank you. Hey! Hey! There is no
You're welcome back. This is Divine Path coming to you from Trust TV. My name is Lilian Ogazi. Now, before we went on the break, we were with Pastor Wale Ice. Thank you for joining us again.
You're welcome.
Now, let's go straight back into the conversation. Before we went on break, we spoke about how you can stand out as a Christian with prayers. Now, the essence of this show is to teach Christians how to navigate the world today, especially with how the world is changing. It's becoming more social. Things that were not normal are now being seen as normal, even in the church to an extent.
Yeah.
So as a Christian, how do you hold on and build your prayer life in the world we have today?
Okay. I think, I listen to some motivational speakers and they say that the secret, right, to a successful life is hidden in your daily routine. I believe as a Christian, you want to make significant strides in your life, you need to make prayer a part of your daily routine. You have to schedule your prayer life. You should not leave it to be spontaneous. There's a singer that says something about anytime I feel the spirit moving, I pray. Now, that's a good one, but it's better for you to have pre-planned your prayer life, not only when you feel like praying. When you feel like praying, it's good to take advantage of it, but it's needed for you to be able to tell yourself. I like what someone says. He says that the first thing he does when he opens his eyes in the morning is to say something to God. Beautiful. That can be your plan. That can be your strategy. But it doesn't have to be them. There are some people who drive an hour to work. You can decide to give that 1 hour to spending time with God, talking to Him about your day, and planning with Him. Some people always have a time daily where they do their exercises, whatever it is. But you need to be deliberate. You can't leave prayer to chance. You shouldn't only pray when you have a need that is beyond you. It's almost like the day a loved one is trapped beneath a car. If that's when you want to exercise your muscles to lift a car, then that loved one is dead, right? But if you've been exercising, you've built yourself until you have muscles like, let me think, I can't think of any present day person, maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I hope the young ones can remember him, If your muscles are that big, you are ready to attack something. And that is what we need to do about our prayer life. We need to build our prayer muscles with a daily routine of praying. Set aside a time every day. You don't have to start with praying 6 hours stretch. It can be 10-15 minutes, but let it be that 10-15 minutes every day is set aside for you. Before I end, let me just say this. Somebody said something about thinking that I want to use for praying. He said that to make himself think daily because he believes that people don't think every day.
Some people don't think at all.
Yeah, I like that, So because of that, he has what he calls a thinking chair in his house. So he only sits on the chair when he wants to think. So once he looks at this chair and I'm not sat on this chair for a few days, it means I have no thoughts. You can do the same thing for your prayer. You can decide to have a prayer closet in your house that you only go to when you pray. So because of that, if you've not gone there today, you know that I've not entered my prayer closet today. I should go there. That helps you make prayer a part of your daily routine.
Okay, now, the world is noisy. The world is noisy, and I like what you said. It's something I commit myself to doing.
Okay.
It takes me approximately 30 to 25 minutes, depending on, without traffic, and with traffic, an hour to get to my office. And I have that hour, I dedicate it to just speak to God, and I'm out there in the noisy place. But there are people who feel like they need more than that to connect to God. Now, what would you say to them? Especially when it comes to understanding that this prayer can be used as a tool to push you through the world, to navigate the world. Now, what would you say to them on that?
Well, what I'll say is anything can be done if you set your mind to it. I play chess, and one of the formidable people that I used to play with that helped me to get better was a guy that once he sits to play, no matter how complicated the situation is on the table, he tells himself there is a solution. It's just that, can I find it? It's not about there's no solution. There is a solution, but I just am not seeing it. That's what I would say to you. If you believe that you need to take out time and be alone, find the time. There is time. There is. There always is. Look within your busy schedule. You realize that there will always be some time that you are using doing stuff that you can knock out. You might cut down your social media time. You can cut down your TV time. You might find a shorter way to get to work. Or perhaps you might decide to give your laundry out to a dry cleaner and use that time to pray. There's always time. You just need to look for it. And always know that it is worth it. It will be worth it. Knocking out maybe your time of watching TV, for example, if you spend 3 hours daily, you can cut it down to 2. Take 1 hour out and use that time. It might be in the office. Instead of going out to eat, you can decide to buy food, come in, eat early, and then step out to somewhere quiet and pray. But there is a way. All you have to do is put your mind to it, and you'll find the time.
And I know I was supposed to ask this question earlier, but when you kept on saying find time, you have to create the time.
Yeah.
Now, not me. The question popped in my head on the person's behalf.
Okay.
Why though? Why do you have to? Why is prayer so important to every Christian?
Okay. Well, like I said when we first started, I said prayer is how you give God access to your space and to your life. So that means if you are not praying, you are not giving God access. That means in a sense you are on your own. That means in a sense you are only using the abilities that are available to you to get yourself to succeed. And that is sad. You know, I remember a story about a child, right, who was trying to he went to a shop and the shopkeeper told him that he can take some sweets, and he brought the bowl down to him, and he just kept looking and he looked at his dad and he take some, and he looked at his dad. His dad now looked at him and said, oh, okay, and fetched some, and they left. And he said, why didn't you take some? He said, Dad, my hands are little, I'll only have taken 2 or 3, but see your hands, you took a lot more. You see, because he took advantage of external help that he has. If all you can do is all you do, then you only get done all you can do. But if you get God involved, you can imagine the multiplication in your success rates. So it is that important to always ensure God is involved in everything you are doing. It doesn't matter what it is. In work, in business, in your relationships, don't get married on your own. Get God involved. He knows the person more than you do. Prayer is that important.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was nice having you here. Now, to you who, to all of you who are watching, thank you so much for joining us. We've come to the end of this episode of Divine Path. Now, if you have questions or comments, or any topic you would like us to talk about, send them to us via our social media handles. Well, having said that, thank you for joining us and have a lovely day.